Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a foundation review for you, and as I mentioned, foundation is one of my all-time favorite makeup products ever, and I'm sure, you know, by me coming at you barefaced, you can see why. I have a lot to cover, and to be honest with you, I don't feel comfortable going out without my makeup on. And that's just something personal. I just feel more confident whenever my makeup is done, like I'm sure many of us do. So I'm going to be trying to bring more and more foundation reviews to you guys. I have a ton of them, and honestly I've forgotten how some of them perform, so it'll be a refresher for me as well. But the one that I'm bringing to you guys today, and the reason I decided to start with this one is because I'm almost out of it. So I mentioned the Covergirl Outlast Stay Fabulous Foundation in my June 2018 favorites. I have the shade Classic Ivory, which is a great match for me. And this one, it's a high medium coverage. With some of the scarring and things that I have, like a lot of this on my cheeks is actually scarring, so that's not active acne. Down here on my chin, I do have an active breakout, and that is just completely hormonal. So, you know, that will go away about time that it's time for it to come back, which is, men have no idea. Let me just say that. They have no idea. But, you know, my scarring, it tends to actually run a bit purple, and it's just really hard to cover, so I have to have something like extremely full coverage to completely cover that. But this gets me to a high, medium, verging on full coverage after you've applied everything else coverage, and I love this one, so I wanted to bring that to you today. Now, I have my foundation on this palette, and this is actually a lid from Bath & Body Works, so especially when I start running low on a product, I tend to pull this out because it makes the product go further, and I actually had to unscrew that lid, although it has a pump, and dump it out on here, so I probably have more than I'm actually going to use. So we'll kind of see what I have left once I get the coverage that I'm looking for. So I have already washed and moisturized my face. I'm going to apply my primer next, and I have the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer in Radiance right here. And this is just a little sample that I got from Sephora as one of my point perks. I think it was like 100 points. But it's really lasted me a long time, and so I really like getting primer samples. Now this one, like the name says, it is a radiance primer, so it just gives you that kind of lit from within glow, which I really love. I really want to try the one in the purple packaging from Laura Mercier. That one is more of like a brightening one, so one day I'm going to get that and try it for you guys. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sink into my skin for just a minute. And while I do that, I am going to have me some coffee. And we're starting this video off early. It's 9:24 where I'm at right now in the morning, so we can really see how long this wears. And side note, is this not the coolest cup ever? I'm a 90s baby, so this is such nostalgia for me. I loved Rugrats growing up, and I still do. I try to get my kids to watch it. Also, Starbucks came out with a 2 times caffeine coffee. Guys, it's legit. It's like our Red Bull, but coffee. So if you don't like the Red Bull flavor, it's a great option. Okay, so I'm just taking a beauty blender. This is actually the Ulta brand, and it really does work well. It comes in like a pack of 2, and it's $10 for 2. And the other one, so this is like the typical, you know, beauty blender shape. The other is, it has a slanted tip like the Real Techniques. And that one, I love the blenders like that, specifically for putting powder on. You just use a wet beauty blender and press the powder into your face. That is the most like seamless application of powder that I have been able to find. So a lot of people bake with that method, but I just apply a normal amount of powder and do all over my face like that whenever I have to set the foundation. Now, this foundation that I'm using today, the reason that I love it so much is because you don't have to set it. And my skin, I am very combination skin, and oddly enough, my cheek area is very dry and my forehead is normal, but throughout the day, I tend to get very shiny, just in that typical T-zone region. And I really like this foundation because it really seems to keep those oils at bay. Now, it doesn't claim to be a mattifying foundation or anything like that, but I do think that it leans more on the matte side. So I do like to I really like to hydrate my skin beforehand, and I do apply like a radiance type of primer most of the time with this. And it gives your skin such a good finish. Like, it's not too shiny because they kind of even each other out. The radiance that you prepped your skin with, and then the actual texture and finish of this foundation, they really balance each other well. And then, like I said, you don't have to set this with a powder, so it kind of stays, at that level. And it really does seem to keep the oils at bay for me, which is like a win-win. And guys, I'm not one of those people that likes to touch up throughout the day. Like, I apply my makeup first thing in the morning, and I want it to last all day long. Like, if it's not doing that, then it's not doing enough for me. Okay, I'm about done. We're really not going to get too much more coverage than this, and I don't want to keep packing on the product really. Like I said, right now I do have more to cover than I normally would, but my skin is just very textured in general, and that's just kind of what I have to work with. So the foundations that do lean a little bit more matte or satin as opposed to super luminous, I tend to like more because it doesn't bring out that texture as much. Okay, so it really blends into the skin nicely. This is a great color match for me, and that always helps with a foundation, is getting a color that is good for you. To me, I always love those foundations more whenever it is a good color match. Alright guys, so we have got pretty good coverage. I feel a lot better right now just off the bat, only with foundation on. So once I apply everything else, I will check back in with you and just let you know what else I have applied. But right now, it's still a little tacky on this side, but over here it's like completely dried down, and it doesn't feel super dry or tight, but it feels like I can blend product on there and it won't stick or get patchy or anything like that. So this is a good one, and I'll follow back up with you guys with all the other products that I apply. Alright, and now that we're done with application, I still have, a good bit left. So what I had on this palette, it takes me about half of that to get this type of coverage. So usually that would be about 2.5 pumps of that. And like I said, I do have a lot to cover. Hey guys, I'm back. I have completed my makeup, and I just wanted to share with you everything that I have on my face. The first thing I pulled out was the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in shade C3. I set that down with my e.l.f. Under Eye Translucent Setting Powder. For my contour as well as my highlight, I pulled out the Tarteist Pro Glow palette, and I'm wearing both the cream and the powder contour shades. For my highlight, I'm using a combination of Strobe and Stunner from this palette. I will have a tutorial and review coming on this, so stay tuned for that. For my blush, I pulled out my Too Faced Love Flush blush in the shade I Will Always Love You, which is just a nice peachy shade. I thought it would go well with the eye look that I have on today. For my eyes, I am wearing the Urban Decay Primer Potion, one of my all-time favorites. I set that down with my Wet n Wild single eyeshadow in the shade Creme Brulee. For the actual color that is on my eyes, I pulled out my Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette again, and I will have a tutorial coming on this eye look, so stay tuned for that. For my lashes, I have on my Wet n Wild Mega Length Waterproof Mascara on the lower lashes. I put on the Lancome Cils Booster XL on my upper lashes, and then I applied my Essence I Heart Extreme Volume Mascara. And Essence mascaras are fantastic. If you have not tried them, I would give them a go. They're affordable and they're amazing. For my eyeliner on the inner rim, I put on the Lancome Le Stylo Waterproof eyeliner in the shade Bronze Paradise. Just to brighten things up, for the brows, I have on my e.l.f. eyebrow pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. For lips, I pulled out my Monaco, I think it's called the Illusion lip liner pencil, so it looks super bright. It's not. It's just a nice nude shade. It's actually the color of my lips. So I put that on, and then I topped that off with the Anastasia liquid lipstick in the shade Ashton. And then I set everything with one of my favorites, the Ulta Dewy Setting Spray. So we are going to see how everything wears throughout today, and I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later. Hey guys, I just wanted to do a final check-in. I'm trying to talk a little bit low because it's pretty late here. It is 1:06 right now. I think I put this makeup on around 9:30 in the morning, so it's been on 15, almost 16 hours at this point. Overall, for this being on almost 16 hours, I don't think that it's looking bad. So again, that is one of the reasons why I love this foundation. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking terrible. I've seen much worse. So anyway, I hope that you guys have a good night. I am about to hit the sack because I have to be up for work in like 5 hours. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.